With one long hiss, the giant python slowly changed into a handsome young man. He stood tall, neat, and very fine. He wore a rich dark suit that looked expensive. His black shoes shone like a new mirror. His wristwatch sparkled like ice under the moon. His hair was smooth, and his face looked like it belonged in a fashion magazine. In his right hand, he held a dark brown suitcase. It looked heavy and important. The man smiled a small quiet smile, calm, slow, and secretive. Without looking back at the big tree behind him, he walked out of the forest. At the roadside, half covered by tall bushes, a black Lexus Jeep was parked. The body of the car reflected the moonlight. The lights blinked softly, almost like the car was welcoming him home. He opened the door and sat in the driver's seat. The car engine purred gently. He placed the suitcase beside him, adjusted his suit, and drove away like someone who already knew his destination. Port Harcourt nightlife was alive. Music blasted from bars and restaurants. People laughed loudly. Cars honked. Street lights colored the road. The city was awake. The Lexus moved through the busy streets and stopped in front of a famous nightclub in GRA. Blue, yellow, and red lights flashed at the entrance. Security men stood tall at the gate. The man stepped out. People turned immediately. Nobody knew him. But from his clothes, his car, and his quiet confidence, they knew he was a rich man. He pushed the glass door open. Warm air and loud music rushed toward him. Inside, people were dancing, shouting, drinking, and taking pictures. The DJ was hyping the crowd. The handsome stranger walked to an empty VIP table in the corner and sat down. He placed the suitcase beside him like it was a baby. Nobody knew who he was, but almost everybody kept looking at him. He was too clean, too quiet, too mysterious. Then he saw her. A young woman was dancing on the stage, fearless, bold, and beautiful. She moved like she was born with music inside her. Her braids swung around. Her smile was wide. Her steps were sharp. The lights made her skin glow. Her name was Ada. Everyone in the club knew her. She danced almost every weekend. People loved her energy and beauty. But tonight, she did not know her life was about to change forever. The stranger slowly opened his suitcase. When the club lights hit inside, people around gasped. Money. Neatly arranged bundles of cash, plenty of it. A woman nearby shouted, "Jesus! Is this real?" A man rubbed his eyes twice. Nobody knew this stranger. Nobody knew where he came from. Nobody knew why he carried so much money. But he looked calm, like nothing was strange. He picked 2 thick bundles of cash, stood up, and walked toward Ada. The DJ screamed, "Oh! Big money has entered the building." Ada stopped dancing when she saw him. Before she could say anything, the stranger began spraying her with money, slowly, gently, endlessly. Cash filled the air like feathers in harmattan wind. People screamed. Phones came out. Videos started immediately. Who is this man? See money. This is not normal. Oh. Ada's mouth opened in shock, then she smiled and danced harder. The more she moved, the more he sprayed. After a while, the stranger returned to his seat and closed the suitcase calmly. Ada could not hold herself. She ran off the stage and went straight to him. "I have never seen you here before," she said, breathing fast. The man looked up and smiled softly. "My name is Malik." Ada nodded slowly. Something about him felt strange, but interesting. Then he asked a shocking question. "Will you marry me?" Ada froze. "We just met," she whispered. "You don't know me." "It doesn't matter," Malik replied. "Some things are already decided." He brought out a small red box. Inside was a diamond ring, big, bright, and real. People screamed. Women held their wigs. Men shouted in confusion. Malik went down on one knee. Ada covered her mouth and shook. Then she screamed, "Yes. I will marry you." The club exploded with noise. People clapped. The DJ almost fainted. Malik stood up and Ada hugged him tightly. After some minutes, Malik carried his suitcase and stood up. "I have to go," he said gently. "Let me follow you," Ada said quickly. Malik touched her arm softly. "No. Tomorrow. Same place." His voice was calm, but firm. He walked out, entered his Lexus, and drove away. But he did not drive home. He drove back to the same forest. He parked near the tall tree, stepped out, and the moment his feet touched the ground, his body began to change. His skin moved, his bones shifted, his legs folded, his suit dropped to the floor. Within seconds, Malik turned back into a huge golden python. The suitcase disappeared with him. He crawled into the darkness of the forest, silent and slow. Tomorrow was already coming. Ada ran home with excitement like someone being chased by joy. She held her diamond ring tight. She carried her small bag filled with bundles of money Malik sprayed. She pushed the door open loudly. Her friends Busy and Titi, who were sitting on the bed, jumped in fear. "Ada! What is it?" Busy shouted. Ada stretched out her hand. The ring shone like morning sun. "Girls, look!" Busy and Titi screamed. They touched the ring, shook their heads, and almost cried. "Is this real diamond?" Titi asked softly. "Yes," Ada shouted proudly. She opened her bag and threw bundles of cash on the bed. Her friends screamed again. "Ada! Where did you get this?" "I met a billionaire," Ada said proudly. "And he proposed." Busy covered her mouth. Titi frowned a little. "Ada, things like this don't happen fast," Titi said slowly. "Are you sure it's safe?" Ada rolled her eyes. "Please, you worry too much." But Titi's heart was not comfortable. The next evening, Malik returned to the forest, changed back into a man, entered his car, and drove to the club again. Ada was waiting outside with Busy and Titi. When she saw him, she screamed and ran into his arms. She hugged him, but immediately pulled back. "Why is your body so cold?" she asked. Malik smiled gently. The AC in the car was high. Ada laughed and held his arm again. But Titi noticed something in his eyes, something dark and silent. Inside the club, people screamed, "Boss! Spray us again." Phones were already recording. Malik did not smile. He only nodded and sat down. Then he leaned toward Ada and said, "I want to meet your parents tomorrow." Ada screamed and hugged him tightly. But in the corner of the club, two men were watching. One of them was Chinedu, Ada's ex-boyfriend. His eyes were full of anger. "That man is not normal," Chinedu whispered. When they left the club, Malik drove them through a quiet estate with beautiful houses. Then he stopped in front of a brand new duplex. "I bought this house," Malik said softly. "It belongs to you, Ada." Ada screamed and hugged him like she wanted to enter his body. She danced around the compound, laughing and shouting, "Thank you, Jesus." Busy clapped. Titi stared quietly, afraid. Malik only smiled a strange small smile, too calm. The wind blew gently, but something in the air felt wrong. Within a week, wedding preparations started. Ada's parents were overjoyed. Her mother bragged to neighbors. Her father walked around smiling like a new landlord. The wedding day arrived. It was big, loud, colorful, and expensive. People danced, ate, and celebrated. Ada wore a sparkling white gown. Malik wore white and gold. But something shocked guests. No member of Malik's family attended. No parents. No siblings. No relatives. Nobody. People whispered, "Where is his family?" But when they saw the money he spent, they kept quiet. Ada did not care. Love and wealth covered her eyes. After the wedding, Ada and Malik moved into the beautiful house. Everything seemed perfect until night came. Every night, Malik disappeared. "Where are you going?" Ada asked. "I must travel to Cameroon," he always said. "Business?" "Every night." Ada asked, confused. "Yes." Then he would leave and return by morning, fresh and calm. Ada didn't ask questions. She enjoyed the money too much. But Malik was not traveling. He was returning to the forest, changing back into a python under the big tree. One night, around 11 p.m., Ada was in the bathroom doing her skincare. She held a small mirror. She heard the bedroom door open. "Baby, is that you?" she asked. No answer. She lifted the mirror and froze. In the reflection behind her stood Malik, but he wasn't normal. From the waist down, he had a long thick python tail, golden, moving, alive. Ada's hand shook. The mirror fell and shattered. She slowly turned around. Malik looked normal again, just a handsome man. His eyes became sharper, colder. Without saying anything, he turned and disappeared into thin air, like smoke. Ada screamed and pressed her back against the wall. She could not breathe. She stayed awake all night, shaking. The next morning, Malik walked into the room casually. "Good morning, my love," he said with a smile. Ada stepped back slowly. Malik touched her cheek. "Why do you look afraid?" Ada forced a smile. I didn't sleep well." Malik nodded. "Get ready. Tonight, we are going somewhere." "Where?" she asked with weak voice. "You will see," he replied. His smile looked normal, but his eyes did not. Deep inside the forest, the giant tree shook like something big was waking up. Something Ada was not ready to face. The end, or maybe just the beginning.